Again, hello everyone. Welcome to our session. And I know that today's subject is one that is eye-catching and is beneficial to all of us. I'm the first person who would claim ignorance, and I believe I will benefit from today's webinar, and I know Ardian will give us the best he could during it. Mentioning Ardian, our speaker, Ardian Jashari, who is a CMC. He's an ex-chair and delegate of IMC Kosovo, so we've worked well together during the past years. Um, in a business level, he's the founder at MDA Consulting, a management consulting company operating from both Kosovo and Albania. He's an experienced project manager and a communication consultant, and that's where he will benefit us today. He's also a partner at On Air Media, an online content distribution and management service provider. In addition, Ardian delivers online courses through his platform, skillay.com. All this information will be available in the PowerPoint itself, and you will receive it just like we always do. The subject is interesting because it's all about optimizing your LinkedIn profile. And actually, other than LinkedIn, we will be asking many questions about all social media. But the most important part is the LinkedIn, and that is the topic of our session today. It's about how you can get more profile views, how you can get more followers, what are the available features on LinkedIn that will assist us in doing that, and how we can utilize them the best to reach the goals that we have in either having more views or even contacting people for business opportunities. So I hope you will benefit. In one moment, Ardian, I will give you the floor. But first, I want to set a few rules. Many of you who've attended with us many times already know this. All the questions, all during, should be entered into the chat. Once the presentation is over, and it's going to be an interactive one today, and we'll all be surprised how it's going to go. All the questions will be in the chat, and after we finish the presentation, I will start handling and moderating for Ardian. Again, thank you all, and Ardian, the floor is yours. We will all keep mute so that we do not have any noise. And by the way, we will be recording as usual, and you will find it on our ICMCI official videos channel. Good luck, Ardian.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be your presenter today, and I feel overwhelmed with all these people joining us today, and hopefully more will come later. As you have seen, I work for MDA, which is a consulting company operating in Southeast Europe. And just briefly, we have 40 full-time staff. We have managed many projects in the past 20 years. We exist since 2001. And part of our specialization is managing complex projects with many stakeholders. And that's what I'm doing right now. I have one project where I am a team leader. It's called Europe House in Tirana. So part of my team will also be joining us here because they have to tell me how well or how worse I did. Enough about that. Let's go to our topic. Our topic is LinkedIn. And of course, most of us are using LinkedIn. It's a very, very good platform for professionals. And one of the things why it makes it more appealing for me is because it is supposed to be only professional network. And it's not the same as Facebook or Instagram or all the other ones where people are sharing personal love stories or whatever. Here, most of the things, 90% of the things should be professional. And there are more than 600 million people using LinkedIn today, which makes it even more interesting because it is not the same to have 600 million people on Facebook. Because from those 600 million people on Facebook, you will have people from 13 to 18 also. You will have also people who are not working. You will have all kinds of different groups. While on LinkedIn, 600 million people means 600 million professionals. And that's what makes a big difference. Let's look at how we can optimize the profile. What are the best features that I love about LinkedIn that you should be encouraged to use? And then also how you can audit and make a checklist about your profile, because too many times you think you have done everything, but you will find out that there are new things which you have not used and can be beneficial to you. Also, at the end, we will cover briefly pages and groups, LinkedIn pages and groups, and what you can do with them. First, I want to say something about consultants and LinkedIn. As a consultant, I have been using LinkedIn for 10 years now. And I think LinkedIn is very beneficial to consultants because we consultants are people who are looking for work all the time. We might be looking for a job, we might be looking for a short-term contract. All the time we have to be active, and we can use LinkedIn to show that we are there, we have the set of skills, knowledge, competences, and we can work on new projects. But our profile has to be showcasing this. We have to see, because most of the time, what are the clients looking for? They are looking for people with experience. They are looking with people who know what they are doing. They are looking for success stories. They are also looking for professionalism. They are looking for an authority. So we need to use our profile in order to show them that we have all of those things, and we can be a consultant who can be engaged in their next project. And LinkedIn is changing all the time. They have new things that they are adding all the time. And we need to see what new things are there and how we can use them to our benefit. But most of this will be through experimenting. So I have tried a lot of things. Some of them have worked, some have not. And it's very simple. You just keep repeating the things that keep on working and stop the ones that don't. For example, LinkedIn groups had a separate app 3 years ago. Then they discontinued this app. When they discontinued, everyone thought that that's the end of LinkedIn groups. But in the reality, that's not the end. LinkedIn started developing more the groups, and now you can utilize the groups to generate discussions, to talk with experts in your field, and you can still benefit a lot from LinkedIn groups. Also, there are questions, do I want to accept all those ridiculous connection requests I get from people who are trying to either get a job or trying to sell me something? There are different ways you can deal with that. But I always suggest that you scan who is sending you a request. Do you want to accept it or not? Or is this a professional? Is this somebody who you can create a relationship with? Or is it just somebody who is trying to sell you something that you don't really need? Now, consultants can definitely benefit from LinkedIn, but let's look at how you can make your profile look professional so that other people will approach you for work or will start to create a network with you. The first things are very simple. Let me open LinkedIn so that we can go through it while we talk. So this is my profile. This is one of my profiles because I have more than one. That's another secret. I'll tell you later why. So this is the main profile that I have. And here, basically, if you look at the cover photo of the LinkedIn profile, it's this area here. And you can you can put something here which in a way puts people in the topic. Here I don't have much, I have just one picture. And there's a reason for that, because I didn't want to make it look too overwhelming. People who are trying to sell you something, usually they will put something here. In my case, that was not the case. I want to use my profile more to show what I can do and what are my capabilities as a consultant. Here also, there's the profile picture. The profile picture should be professional. This picture of me is very boring. I want to change it, but I didn't have the time yet. So I need a new picture, more smiling, more a positive posture. This is too serious in my opinion. But the other extreme is also not good. If you have a photo which is not serious at all. Okay, so try to make it professional, serious, but also positive and with a smile, possibly. Then the rest of the area here on top is very important. The most important thing, in my opinion, is the headline. This is where you're telling everyone who you really are in 3 seconds. And if you put things here, too many things here, like I have, there's a tendency to confuse people. In my case, I am confusing people. I'm telling them that I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a project manager, I'm a communication specialist, and I love digital marketing. So I'm telling them 4 things. The first one, entrepreneur, I want to tell them that I'm involved in more than one business. That's why I'm putting this word, entrepreneur. And in a way, I want to appeal to people who are looking to network with entrepreneurs, which is one of my goals. The second goal is I want to tell them that I can manage projects. I have experience in project management. And the third one is where I'm telling them that project management, yes, but my area of expertise is communication. So I work in communication projects. And the last one is just something that started like a hobby, my love for digital marketing. And of course, if you follow something throughout the years, then it becomes part of your work as well. So in a way, your headline should tell people who you are, what you do, and what do you want to achieve with your profile. And here I see mainly two types of headlines. One, where people are looking for jobs, and the second, where people are selling services. So in my case, what do you think? Are we talking about looking for a job or selling services? You can write in the comment section your answers in case you have an answer to my question. Do you think I'm trying to find a job or I'm trying to sell something? Okay. Let's see. So people are telling me that I'm trying to sell services. This is very obvious because I'm not looking for a job. I want to tell people what I can do, and then I want them to write me and ask me for my services. But I can definitely tell you that I can do better with this headline. Let me open another LinkedIn profile that I have where I am trying to sell services very bluntly. And you'll see the difference. In this case, it is the online courses that I provide. And here, if you look at the profile, just a second until it opens. I don't know why it's taking forever. So here, my headline is more clear. And in fact, I would prefer for everyone to have a headline that is very clear. And you are only using LinkedIn for one thing. So here I want to get to the point that LinkedIn profile, the way it is designed, it is really useful if you are using it for only one thing. In our case, only to show your management consulting profession. But I'm not the best example of that because I do other things as well. So in a way, I'm confusing people with my headline. But here is another example of a headline where you are telling them directly what you are doing. Okay. Of course, if you have any questions, you can shoot at any time. Now, the rest of the intro is important, but not as important as the headline. Now, when you look at the About section, this is your opportunity to tell them more. Here, you wanna write things that excite people. It cannot be just a boring text from your CV or a boring short biography. You want to try to use different emojis so that people can be attracted to the text. So in a way, I have tried to do that with my profile. I have tried to tell everyone all the different things that I do or I have done in the past, which in a way are creating a complete picture, but also try to show success stories. Try to write about something that tells people that you have achieved some success in the past. If you can use numbers, that's even better because numbers are quantifiable and people like to see numbers. Okay, so that's about section in the profile. Then we have other things which are interesting. There's a section that I really like. It's called featured. Too many people are not using this section at all. In fact, there are people who don't even know that this section exists. And featured gives you the opportunity to create, I think, four posts that you have posted in the past. You can feature them on your profile. And basically they are like pinned posts in Facebook. So they will appear on the top of your profile. And here you can showcase your work. So maybe if you're working on projects, like here's an example of my projects, my project in Albania, where I have showed videos. I have used videos to show the work that we have done for the European Union in this case. And when these videos are old, you can change them and add new ones. So I can see now that I opened it, that it is time to replace them with new ones, because these are from 3-4 months ago, and the time at this time we definitely have new ones which are more fresh. Then you'll see this section which is called the dashboard. Now in this dashboard there's a thing called All Star. I don't know how many of you know about All Star. Give me a 1 if it's a yes, and give me a 2 if it's a no in the chat, please. Have you heard about All Star LinkedIn profile? Okay, I have many twos, which means you have not heard about it. That's fine, but it's very important. I think you need to understand what is an all-star. I have a set of articles at the end of the presentation, which I will share with you. And there you will see what an all-star means. Basically, it is a completed profile on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a set of things that they want you to complete. When you complete all of them, then you are considered an all-star on LinkedIn. And according to LinkedIn, people who have all-star profiles perform much better than the ones who don't. So I encourage you definitely to find the time to complete your profile and make it an all-star profile. Before you get to all-star, there are 4 other ranks that you need to go through, and all-star is the biggest one, the best one that you can achieve. Okay, now underneath that you will have some metrics about your posts, which are very important. I have one thing to say about that. If you can look at my profile, you will see I have about 6,000 something followers on this profile. That's not a huge number. If you have 6,000 on Facebook, that is a very small number, because Facebook limits the number of people that will see your posts. But on LinkedIn, having 6,000 definitely is more than having 6,000 on Facebook. Why? Because we talked earlier, people who are on LinkedIn tend to be professionals. So as a consultant, being in contact with 6,000 professionals is much better than being in contact with 6,000 people on Facebook or Instagram. Many of them will not be professionals. Many of them will not be part of your target audience that you are trying to reach. So that's why having 6,000 people here is a good number, because when I look at my posts, I will see that LinkedIn is not as bad as Facebook in limiting the number of people that will see my posts. If you can look at this one, 467 people have seen this post that I did yesterday about this webinar. So 467 views from 6,000 followers, it's not bad at all. It's more than 15%. On Facebook, those percentages are 1 to 3%. So imagine if I had 6,000 followers on Facebook, and this post would have maybe 60 to 100 views or something like that. So LinkedIn definitely gives you more visibility, because they are not as aggressive as Facebook in asking you to pay so that you show your own posts to the followers who have already followed you. The other thing I want to point in the profile is the obvious stuff. Of course, the experience and education and licenses and certifications, skills and endorsements. Definitely you want to fill all those out. Skills and endorsements is very important. Here, you can try to exchange endorsements with other people. I have done that in the past and it has worked very well for me. And don't feel offended to ask people to endorse you, especially people who know who you are and people who have worked with you. They know your qualities and they don't hesitate to endorse you because they have worked with you. But be prepared to do the opposite, also to endorse them as well. So try to stay away from people who you would not endorse. Try to find first the ones who you want them to endorse you and you would not hesitate to endorse them. And try to create a set of skills where you have more endorsements. Here also it's a numbers game. So in my case, I have chosen 3 endorsements that I think are the ones that I want to be known for: project management, strategic communications, and online course instructor. Now, notice down here, I have many others. In fact, there are some here that I didn't put myself. People have created for me because they endorsed me for that topic without asking. But in those cases, I'm not giving too much visibility to those endorsements. I'm trying to focus on my top 3 and trying to get bigger numbers on those. If you look at the numbers, you will see that management consultant has more than 100. Why? Because I have asked people to endorse me for that topic. I want to be known for that. There are also other topics that have more than 100 because I have also asked people to endorse me specifically for that topic. And then there are topics where I don't have huge numbers because I don't want to be known for that topic. Okay. You need to play with your endorsements a little bit and try to have 3 to 5 endorsements where you have more than 100 endorsements from different people. The other thing that I want to point out in terms of LinkedIn profile is the recommendations. Now, you have a feature called Ask for Recommendation. This is where you can definitely write to somebody and say, give me a recommendation. And you can do this on a periodic basis. For example, I have received 25 recommendations. If you look in more detail, more of them come from students. Why? Because I felt less hesitant to write to my students and ask them to give me a recommendation. Also, some of them come from former colleagues or existing colleagues at the company. But also you can do this with your clients. I know sometimes you feel hesitant, especially when you are doing a good job, when you are working with them and they are happy. That is the right time to ask for recommendation. Don't wait too long. If you have finished your project 2 years ago, then chances are the client might have forgotten about you. So try to do this while it is still fresh. That's it about the profile. Now, before we go to the next step, are there any questions? If you have, please don't forget, write in the chat. And of course, we will come to your questions at the end. There are some features that LinkedIn has and that I have used in the past, and I really love them. And I want to talk to them about talk to you about them so that you can know that they exist. Maybe you know some of them. If you do, just ignore me. If you don't, please pay attention because these can be very beneficial for management consultants. Now, if you look at posts, if you look at my posts, most of them will be video posts. Why is it? I have done a lot of tests. If you have a post on text only, post with the pictures, or posts with video, posts with video tend to perform better. And you will have more views with video. Why? Because LinkedIn is trying to promote LinkedIn video. This is very important for you to know. And you should be trying to create content with video. Now, too many people tell me, yes, but I'm shy. I don't have the right camera. I don't have the right lighting. My sound is not good enough. There's too much noise in the background. my response to all those comments is BS. You are just giving me excuses. You can take your phone. Nowadays, most of the phones have excellent cameras, and you can just start creating a video and post it on LinkedIn and see what happens. Don't be shy. You cannot be shy and be a management consultant. This is definitely not something that can happen. You need to get out there and show yourself and show what you do through video. And you don't have to create long videos. They can be very short. They can be 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or even shorter. But when you use LinkedIn video, you will see something magical happening on your profile. You will see that the number of people who view your posts will increase. And I have a testimony myself for this because I have been using video for more than a year now. So if you look at posts, you will see that a post with a photo will tend to perform worse than a post with the video. Okay. Now, the other thing that people have asked me throughout the years about LinkedIn is, I don't want to accept connections. I want people to follow me. Fine. There is a setting on LinkedIn which lets you do exactly that. And I'm going to show you where it is. So basically you go to settings, you go to visibility, and at the end here, there's this thing called followers. You click on that, and here, first you have it like this, your connections. What you need to do, you need to go to everyone on LinkedIn, and you need to say yes. So basically you are making people follow you, and you are making a follow button as your main follow button on your profile. So people cannot add you as a connection. All they can do is follow you. And this is the way to do it. It's very simple, very straightforward. Just follow these steps and make it happen. And then what happens, you will have more followers and less connections, which is fine. But in order to make those followers happy, you need to create content. So before you do this step, make sure you are ready to create content. Because if you don't create content, then followers might as well just unfollow you the same way that they followed you. The other thing that I really like on LinkedIn is the fact that you can add connections, but then you can check who is accepting your connections. If I go to my network and just look at connections, and here you will have this no pending invitations. You can click on manage connections. And first you have the received part, then you have the sent part. In the sent part, you can check who are the people that you have invited to connect and they didn't respond. In my case, I have 3 people. These are people who are working, the CEO of YouTube, and then somebody high level on Google, and somebody very high level on YouTube. Those are the only 3 that I did not withdraw. So if I'm giving up, Ryan, in this case, 3 months ago, I asked for an invitation. He didn't respond. Today, I just want to give up. I will withdraw because this guy definitely doesn't think I'm sexy enough to be his connection. Then the other 2 here, I will leave. I will wait because she's the CEO of YouTube. I will wait longer. Why is this important? There are limits in LinkedIn. You can add a number of people. After a number of people, you will not be able to add more people. But you wait 1 week and you go here and you withdraw some of them. Some of them, the ones that didn't respond. And then the limit will be back. So you will be able to add more connections. You can do the same with pages. If you look here, there are pages. And there are people here that I have asked to follow my page, one of the pages. And these people didn't respond. But if you can see, I did this 4 days ago. So 4 days ago, I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I tend to wait with pages at least 1 month. And there's a limit of 100 people that you can ask to follow you on your page within 1 month. So notice I have 114 used right now. when we go to the page, we will see how many are left. And I'll talk about that part when we get there. Another feature that I really like is making sure that everyone can reach you. People tend to leave their profiles on default. And when you do that, you're not sure that you have opened everything and you are easily accessible for people. How do we do this? We go to settings, we go to communications, and there's a section called who can reach you. It's right here. And make sure you change this to everyone. Everyone should be able to reach you, okay? Sometimes people have left it as only people who are in my contacts list or whatever. I prefer to have it as everyone because as a consultant, I want to be available to everyone. Also, who can anyone from your network send you invitations? Make sure everything is on here. And messages, make sure everything is yes. So in a way, here you are opening up yourself to other people to reach you. And this is very important because you will appear in more search results this way. The next thing is if you have two accounts like I do, you can merge them. Because according to LinkedIn, we shouldn't have more than one profile. And we need to have only one. So what I'm going to do very soon, I'm going to merge my two profiles. And you can do that very easily. There's if you go to the settings again, so my profile, this is slow settings. Then there's a section called partners. If you look on the left side, there's a, where is it? So first I go to account preferences, then I go to partners and services. And here under the account management, there's this option to merge accounts. So LinkedIn has realized that there are people like me who are breaking the rules in a way. We have two profiles for the same person. It is not allowed. So they are saying, before I close one of your accounts, why don't you just merge those two and you keep followers from both accounts? Of course, on one account, I have more than 6,000. On the other, I have 2,000, less than 2,000. When I merge them, I'm not going to get 8,000. I'm going to get less because there will be duplicates for sure. But you have to log in here with your other account, submit, and what happens? All the followers from the other account are merged to this account. This is another feature that you guys should know about. So in a way, if you're not sure how you want to go with your LinkedIn profile, you can create two accounts. You can use them for a time. And if you want to merge them in the future, you can do it very easily. The other thing that I like, without paying for premium, because there's this thing premium, I'm sure most of you have known about it, and it doesn't offer you much. It only offers you being able to view who has added you as a connection, who has looked at your profile. Here you can check people that have followed you once you have followers, and this is quite a useful tool because it shows you what kind of people are finding your profile attractive to hit that follow button. If you go to my network, there you will see the button people I follow, and inside there you have also the followers. So click on the followers and you will be able to see who are the people that have followed you recently. And you will recognize some of them because they might be people that you already know. And there might be people who you don't even know. Like, for example, I don't even know who the first person here is, but I can guess he's a CMC, I'm a CMC, I'm doing this webinar. So this follow probably happened because of this webinar. And I can hit the follow back because Flavio has 4,000 followers. He's a CMC, we have something in common, and definitely someone I want to be related to and I want to be in communication with. And then I can check some other people, I don't know, Power, it doesn't ring a bell. And I can scan all of them and see if I can be useful to any of them or they can be useful to me. Because LinkedIn definitely gives you this opportunity to write also to people you don't know, people who you think you might benefit from creating a professional network with. Last thing I want to talk about in this section is something I have just recently found. LinkedIn allows you to create a profile in several languages. I think this is very, very important because we all tend to stick to English. Yes, I know, but don't forget that big part of the world speaks also Spanish and French and German and Italian and all the other languages. And if you go to your profile and you go to add profile section here, at the end, you will see supported languages. You can click on that and it will give you the opportunity to add profile in another language. So just click on that. And here you can choose from the list of languages that are supported. And I have seen there are about 15, 16 languages that are supported right now. Currently, my profile is in English and in German. So let me just create a French profile as well. In this case, I need to create the headline in French language. Of course, today that's also very easy. You can use Google Translate and ask your friend who speaks French if you have translated properly or not. So I will just go ahead and copy paste it here. But then when I ask my friend, he will make the corrections later. If there are any French people in our audience, they can definitely help me with this, but I don't want to waste your time. So I'm just going to copy paste whatever Google Translate is giving me. And boom, I have a profile in French as well. Now, if you go to your profile here on the top part, it will show how many languages you have your profile in. Right now, I have it in English, Deutsch, German, and French. Okay. This is very useful because when people are searching LinkedIn locally in their own language, your profile will appear in the search results. It may appear even higher. Because imagine if somebody is searching on French and your profile is in English only, chances are your profile will not appear in the top results because it's only in English. Okay. The other thing I want to point about your profile is the keywords. There are keywords that you need to create and use throughout your profile. And those keywords should be very important because people, when they are searching for a communication consultant, for example, in my case, Kosovo, I just put some words. I want to appear in those search results in the top 3. I'm not appearing right now because it doesn't show me myself as one of the people who is searching. But if somebody else is searching, I have done some tests and there are some keywords for which I want to appear on top. And I keep changing the words on my profile because I want to appear on top for those keywords that I have chosen. And you can be very clear here what I have chosen. I have chosen an entrepreneur, project manager, communication specialist, digital marketing, and also I play around with Kosovo and Albania as 2 of the countries where I operate. How are we doing with time?
We're fine. And you know what? You can take more time. I believe that anyone who has a question would just immediately ask it. So just go ahead. Just go ahead. If you still have more to give us, I believe everyone's so engrossed in what they're listening, what they're hearing, and what they're seeing. So just go ahead.
So I have some homework for you guys. The first thing you need to do after this webinar is over is a LinkedIn profile audit and checklist. So what do I mean here? I want you to look at some of the articles that I will give you. which will give you a step-by-step checklist of things you need to do on your profile to make sure it is complete and it is a professional profile, and then do all those things for your profile. And then you need to ask somebody to review this and to see whether the LinkedIn profile that you have created matches who you really are. It should match your personality, it should match your background, your experience, your skills, and everything that you have to give as a management consultant. If somebody wants to volunteer now, we can use their profile to see what kind of things we can improve in their profile. We don't necessarily have to do this, but if there are volunteers, it would be nice, because this way we can point to things that can be improved in one example.
Before we do that, Ardeen, and anyone who would want to volunteer, just write "I do volunteer" in the chat. But till then, I do have a few questions. Let's cover those. And the first was from Yehona, asking if we can merge a page and a group.
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. There's your answer, Yehona. The other question is from Michael Hurt, and asking on which words in the search working, meaning which words in the profile are the ones scanned or searched for you to end up showing in a search engine, in the search
whole
process.
profile is searched, but I think more ranking is given to the headline, which is very important, about section, and experience, where you list all your jobs. I didn't go through detail on experience because I think most of you guys are aware of this section, because that has been there since day one of LinkedIn. So definitely those three are, and also endorsements. LinkedIn has created those categories in the, sorry, where is it? In the endorsements here. LinkedIn has created those categories so that they can use them as keywords as well. That's why you want to have more hits on your top skills that you have. So that's why I suggested try to get more than 100 on your top 3 knowledge skills. Okay.
One final question, and it's a very straightforward question. I love you, Marina, for it. And it is, how many clients do you get per month from LinkedIn?
It's difficult to quantify, but I can tell you that LinkedIn has been very good to me. I have used it to approach decision makers and to identify decision makers, because there are many times when we know a company or a project that we want to work for, but we don't know who is the person. And this search button here is beautiful, because it gives you names of very important people that you otherwise have no chance to know who they are. And you can definitely search. For example, let's use an example. If I wanted to work with, let's say, Tesla, I'm just using it as an example. Okay. First, I would go into their company page and see, do I have any friends who work there? And it looks like I do. I have one. So that's one immediately to check. I'm checking his profile immediately because I want to know how I can use his connections, because this person definitely will be connected to his colleagues at Tesla. Okay. Now, that's a starting point. The other thing you can do, you can search for people who work at Tesla. And this search is basically here, people with the keyword Tesla, and you will start getting different search results for people who work at Tesla. And then you might get people from the geography where you are based, and you might have connections through those people, and you can ask somebody to introduce you. Okay. And using those connections to introduce you is a very effective way, because people respond better to an introduction than to a cold message. Okay. And then start identifying more and more information and writing the names down and approaching them. And you'll be surprised how you get to the person that you really want to reach, in this case at Tesla. I have used this and it has been very, very beneficial to me. I don't know if I answered your question.
It seems you did. So let's go to the second question. And by the way, you have many volunteers for the profiles, but I believe they kind of all zoomed in on using Marina's because she said she's weak, on the weak side with LinkedIn, and it seems everyone wants to support her with that. So if you go to the chat, you will find her LinkedIn URL, but there's a question as well. And maybe you can show it to us from Arte to everyone. How do you ask for skills and endorsements from connections? Can you do it online via LinkedIn? I know that the answer is yes, but I believe Ardian will show us.
You can ask for recommendations, but in terms of skills and endorsements, I think you have to do it manually. Okay. So you need to write to your person and just ask, can you endorse me for these 3 skills? And I'll do the same for you as well. And tell me which top 3 skills you want me to endorse you for. So in a way, it's a favor for favor type of thing when you start it. But as you start to have bigger numbers on top 3 skills, you will find out that people who you don't even know will start to endorse you as well. It's a algorithm thing which happens. It's a snowball effect, basically. So you need to start it with 10 or 20 people. You just write them on the message and say, hello, can you, I'm going to write to Yehona.
Don't show it, because I asked you for a recommendation and I never got it, so.
So it's a 1 for 1. So it is the recommendations that can be done online.
Just do it manually for the endorsements, but for the recommendations, you can do it automatically through LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's go to the chat and see who are the volunteers. Where is it? Here. I don't know if I have the first volunteer. Marina, is that right? Okay, I'm going to search for Marina. I need to write the name correctly for sure. Is this you? Yeah, okay. So let's look at the profile. First, we have no picture. We need a picture.
But I see the picture on my profile. How it appears that you don't see it? My goodness, I didn't even expect that.
I don't see the picture.
You need to connect to the picture. You need to be connected.
You need to be connected, okay?
I see.
Then in your profile inside, you have not opened up your profile for everybody. So I'm not your connection. I cannot see your picture. In a way, I think everybody should see your picture. Do you agree? It makes no sense why we should limit the picture only to people who have connected with you. Does that make sense? So in a way, people respond better to people who have a picture, because the moment you don't have a picture, there's a tendency to think, oh, is this a real person? Is it a fake profile? How do I speak to somebody who I don't have a face for, you know? So I recommend you definitely, in one of the slides, we had this part, how do you open up your profile to everybody, okay? Then you have a headline here, which is good, but I think there are too many things here. We are confusing people here. I would prefer to have one long sentence. if you can generate a long sentence where you use those keywords, the ones, but maybe limit the keywords to 2 or 3 of them, and focus on something that you want to be known for. Okay. And in a way, I can see your profile as somebody who is selling services. Is that correct? Not looking for a job, but looking for consulting work. So definitely here, a sentence, a long sentence, providing service, blah, 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 with keywords is much beneficial. What else? You have a profile, a cover page, which is fine. It shows what you do in a way. And it looks nice. It's not overwhelming. Then you have an about section. Here, I would like to see something less overwhelming because it's difficult to read. If you know what I mean, try to break it down into paragraphs, into bullet points. You have some bullet points, but maybe more. And then we can add emojis. We can add some funky things, which make it easier to read. If you look at my example, I'm not saying my example is the best example in the world, but I'm just, it should inspire you in a way to try to focus on some key messages that you want to give here. And in a way, if you look at this paragraph, it's too long, you know. So the writing with shorter sentences and simpler words is much better. And you want to focus on things that you want to sell here also. So you can limit to 2 or 3 of them. What are the top services you want to sell? And also try to create some success stories, some numbers, something from the past where you have achieved success that people will be like, wow, you know, we need a wow effect on your about section. And don't forget.
Sorry to interrupt, but when you say funky things, you mean the emojis and such, or is there more to it? The emojis. Okay.
Emojis, because too many people now are overexposed to social media, and communication with emojis is more friendly, more easy to read, more easy to follow. While long sentences and long paragraphs make it just easy for me to skip and go to the next section. So
there's your answer, Elizabeth. Thank you, Ardia. Sorry for interrupting.
So we are clear about the about section. Then featured, you have featured your certificates. That's nice. But there is another section for certificates. If you go down, you can create a section for certificates here. So in a way, if we have the same certificates here and the same ones here, I don't think it's necessary. So maybe we can use this featured section for promoting content and previous work, which is nice. It's one thing to show people that you are certified on something, and it's much better to, instead of showing them only that, you show them also the work that you have done. You have, in a way, testimonials or showcasing projects or things that you have achieved in the past. And you can put up to 4 here, I think. So you should try to utilize the maximum 4 that you have. Then if we look at the activity, here is basically looking at what kind of things you are posting, which is great. You're active, I can tell. That's nice. But I will go back to my suggestion. Please start to use video. You will see a magical change when you start to use video, because LinkedIn loves video. And not video from Facebook, but directly upload the video in LinkedIn. And then you will see new metrics. You will see more people following, because it makes sense. People don't have time. People are living their dynamic life, and watching a video is much easier than reading a full page of text. Okay. How are we doing so far? Then we have the experience.
Yeah. Rima, you were muted.
Yeah, sorry, we have 5 minutes left, Ardian.
Okay, so here in the experience, I would also try to add more details. For example, about this job, if you can add more details, that would be fine. And I like this where you have put pictures, you have put examples of work, which is definitely a great thing because it makes it easier to read than if it's just text. And also here, if you have videos that showcase the work, add them here also. That's definitely a great thing as well. You have added your volunteer experience, very good. Your endorsements, I can see you already have 99 people that have endorsed you for more than 100 people that have endorsed you for management consulting. That's great. And your top categories are the ones that you want to be, or are they there by chance? You want those 3 to be your top categories. That's great. Recommendations. So what can we do to get more recommendations? I usually like to have more than 20, more than 30, if you can get. Of course, you cannot do it overnight, but start to write to people and ask them. Don't be shy. It's part of the game. People understand why you are asking them. Okay, that's it, Marina. Overall, you have a very nice profile, much better than the average profile that we see. And with little fixes, your profile can be much better also.
Thank you so much, Ardian. Thanks a lot. It was really, really helpful for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. There were a couple other things I wanted to cover quickly in the last 2 minutes. Is that okay?
And there's a question. So maybe you cover them, then answer the question, and I'm going to read it for you. It is, do you know if when we upload directly the video to LinkedIn, there would be a way to use virtual backgrounds? And that's from Andre. And Afshin also asked how we could use ICMCI or CMC to supporting members and each others. Okay, Afshin, I will reply to that. Ardian, the first is yours. And I'll reply to it in my closing. Go ahead, Ardian.
I haven't used virtual backgrounds, but I'm sure you can use them. And definitely if the person who asked the question, he already knows how to use them, definitely write us in the chat and show how to do them. I have never done them. I tend to edit the video before I post it. So in a way, I don't need a virtual background. But you can use the virtual background. You just reminded me for your profile photo as well. In case you have a photo with a massive background like I have right now, you can remove completely the background and you can add things. I can show you a tool online, even if you're not a designer, you can definitely use that tool. It's called remove.bg. It's free and it's very easy to remove. You can upload your picture here and get the new picture without a background. Some people have used that. I have used that for this profile picture, for this one, and I've added the background here. Okay. Now back to the LinkedIn pages briefly. The main thing I want to tell you about LinkedIn pages is the recent addition that LinkedIn has done, which has been very good, is the fact that you can invite your connections to like your page. So if I go to one of my pages here, and in the admin tools, there's this section called invite connections. And here you can invite up to 100 people every month, people who are your connections. And you can just click on them, boom, boom, people that you have not invited yet, and hit invite. So notice I just invited 4 people. Okay. But what happens when you reach the number of 100 people, you will not be able to invite anymore. Then what do you need to do? You need to go back to the section that we talked earlier. So I have 10 more left here, as you saw. I have 10 more. And in case I have invited people 3 months ago and they didn't respond, I can go back and check. I can go back and check, sorry, my network, manage invitations. And in the invitations that I have sent in the pages section, here I can see who are the people that didn't respond. And if I have people who didn't respond more than 1 month, I just withdraw. If I withdraw here some people, for example, you will notice my monthly limit will increase. So this is one way to play around with the limits. So I go back to the page. And what happens here, I used to have 10 out of 100. I should have more now because I just released 3. Now this will update in several minutes and I will be eventually have 13 because I just withdrew 3 connections. At the end of the month, the limit will go back to 100. So in a way, you get a refill every month. So you can invite this way minimum of 1,200 people every year. And if you do this for 1 year, there you go. You might have 1,000 followers on your page. So that's one very nice feature that LinkedIn has recently added in the last 3-4 months. Also, one section that you can definitely utilize is the content section, where if you don't have your own content, you can use other people's content, trending articles, and share them on your page. This way you can generate traffic for your page without too much effort. The other thing is the LinkedIn groups. We don't have too much time, but don't believe people who tell you that LinkedIn groups are dead, because they are not. LinkedIn groups continue to be very viable, but too many times I see people are creating groups for their company. LinkedIn groups are not there for companies. LinkedIn groups are there for sectors, for industries, for communities, for groups of people who share the same beliefs or the same sector or the same clients or the same something in common, and they discuss and interact between each other. It's the same as Facebook groups in a way, but they are very effective if you use them effectively. Also here I have a list of articles and list of YouTube videos, starting with my own YouTube video about LinkedIn. You can check them out, and you should definitely go through these because they will give you some practical tips. We were not able to cover everything in 1 hour, but that's why I'm providing you this additional list of resources that you can check on your own time. Do we have any other questions?
Idean, we're past the time. So I'm going to ask everyone who has a question that didn't have the time to post it to actually email you. Okay? Would that be okay with you, Idean?
That is fine. I have provided my email here and also my LinkedIn profile. You can follow me. You can add the connection, maybe. I don't know. It depends. If
they can follow you.
If we have joint connections, you might be able to add me. If we don't, then the only option will be follow me.
Perfect. At least they'll be able to be in touch with you. And there's a question asking if we're going to send the presentation. Yes, it will be sent in PDF to all those who registered. So Alan, even if you came in late, you would still get the chance to receive the presentation. And everyone's thanking you. I add that. I want to answer actually the question that was given to us, to Afshan. But even when you say that you need support in LinkedIn platform, this is one way of doing it. This is one way of ICMCI supporting its members and the members of its members in knowing more action. So I hope this was helpful. If you still need more and if you feel that we can support you even better, just drop me or Idean an email. We'd be willing to support and see how we can be of better support to all of you. Everyone's saying that this is a great presentation. It was interactive enough, and I feel that I learned a lot, and I hope everyone did. People would stay in touch, Ardian. I'm one of those who might have questions for later. And everyone, you would be able to see this again, and even the parts that you missed if you joined in late on the YouTube channel, it will be there by tomorrow. But anyway, when we send you an email with the presentation, we would also send the link to the recording itself. So you will have everything available to you. And from all of you, I say thank you to Ardian again. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for giving back to your community. Thank you for supporting other CMCs and management consultants. And Please do join us in our next webinars. We know that we're adding value, and I do hope that it is reaching as many people as should. Invite your friends to also join us in the next webinars. Let's make this beneficial to all, and I hope that all the sessions will be as interactive as this one. This was really enjoyable to me. And
Rima,
again,
I have a
thank you,
surprise.
Aideen.
I have a surprise at the end. I want to
Please.
offer everybody here an opportunity to write me, and we can do an audit of your profile for free. And also, whoever wants, I can provide you free coupons to my online courses. This is just, again, based on what you just said. I want to provide something to people who have listened to us for 1 hour.
See, so this is direct support. Thank you, Aideen. As I said, you're good at giving back to the community, and you're even proving it more. Thank you very much. Thank you for the spirit, for the time, for the knowledge, and for the willingness to assist. Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining us. Please be there next time. We'll send you the announcement. We'll tell you when it's going to be and what it's going to be about. And this has been a great session. Thank you, everyone.